Welcome, everybody, to another edition of CPG Insiders. I'm your host, Mark Young, co-host Justin Gerard. Justin, we're getting close to, in fact, this is the week we're launching the 27 Unbreakable Rules.
Yep, when this podcast is going to be released, the book is going to be out for sale.
So the book is How to Build a 100 Million Plus CPG Brand. Now, we gave advanced copies away to not a lot of them. What did we maybe give 25 or 30 advanced copies away? Yep. And today we're actually going to let people hear from two guys who got the advanced copy. So, and this is father and son duo. So this is Keith and Ryan DiGregorio, and they have, I'll give you a little tip here. They have a new cleaning product that's going to roll out soon, that is going to, lack of better words, sweep the nation. That's kind of, or should we say stain remove the nation?
Yeah. We're going to clean things up.
They've got a great product, and we love stuff like this because what's so exciting about this, when we look at the advertising business, I'm going to position this very quickly. As Dan Sullivan says, the advertising industry is the largest educational system in the world. We're bigger than colleges. We're bigger than schools. More people are educated by the advertising industry than any other source of education. We're it. And good advertising is not about selling people things they don't need, because all the good advertising in the world will not keep a bad brand alive.
Nope.
It'll keep it alive for a little bit, but if there's no repeat business, it's going to die. And in today's world of social media, people find out when something is bad very quickly. And if you don't believe me, just go look at the Disney's recent remake of Cinderella. The movie came out, it had one big weekend, and then it hit the ground with a thud. Because people went to social media and said, oh, this is horrible, don't waste your time. So, and they spent, what'd they spend? It was like $100 million marketing that movie or something like that, or something bigger than that. And it didn't matter. It didn't work. So really what advertising is about, it is about communicating and educating people, helping them overcome their own fears and learn about new things and new services that will take them to a better and bigger future. That's what our job is. And these guys have a product that fits that bill exactly. It will take people to a better future, which is a future with clean furniture and couches and rugs, and not having to have a professional come and do it. So you'll learn more about that in the coming weeks and months as their product rolls out. But Keith, Ron, I want to thank you here. And Justin, I'm going to let you lead off here. Where do you want to start?
Wow. Gentlemen, why don't we start off with, if you could, just give the audience a little bit of an overview of your brand and your business, so they can get a sense of where you guys are at.
Sure. What do you think, Ray? Age before beauty? Or?
Yeah, I think we have a good background story, so I think that you should give a overview.
All right, sounds good. So been in the carpet cleaning industry since 1989, a few years before that, before I started my own business. And from that, this product that we have, Clean Safe Products Agreement Kit, was created, and it was a development that took place over the 30 years of learning how to clean soft surfaces, carpet, upholstery, that type of thing. It involves exactly what we feel consumers want, something that's safe, products that are detergent-free, don't leave residues, no machines are required. And as this product is evolving in the field, we're changing our cleaning system to clean these soft surfaces that everybody has. And I realized that there's no reason that the homeowner couldn't bypass me and do it themselves, because it's that easy to use to get professional results. And that's when we kind of put the kit together and we started to collaborate. and introduce the product.
This was like 10, 12 years ago, and it was before it was as easy as it is now to sell things online. So then we restarted it a couple of years ago, and sales took about a year to kind of figure out what the market wanted, what the messaging should be. And then last year, 2025, was when we first got some footing. And I was actually reading one of Benjamin Hardy's books about scaling. Mentioned, I was like, how the heck am I going to get into retail? And that's how we met, is through that aha moment. And, you know, we kind of got introduced to you guys, and this book really set the table for how we're going to do it, and made a book about, you know, where to go from where we are, which is selling only on our own website, to, you know, however many customers are there. You know, we're missing out on a lot of places. We know that we want a 10X. How do we get there? This is the blueprint, and it's not only the blueprint. You made a book about how to do that, how to get into retail, go from where we are to there. A lot of fun to read and very tangible. So that's kind of the backstory and where we're headed and how we ended up here.
As a matter of fact, I think you mentioned to me that this name keeps coming up. We got to look into it. And so we followed through and found you guys, and we're super excited that we did.
So I want to, first off, I want to thank you guys for that. And I want to tell everybody, if you have not read The Science of Scaling by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, go get that book.
Yes.
That is a tremendous book. And to boil it down for you, Ben has figured out many people have a goal of, I'm going to 10X my company in 10 years. And Ben asked the question, what if you turn 10 years into 36 months? Could you do it? Mm-hmm. And he gives you a roadmap to be able to do that. Now, I have a question before you jump in, Justin. You said our name kept coming up, or my name kept coming up?
The Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde.
So how did it keep coming up? Where did it keep coming up at? I'm curious. I'm just curious to that pathway. I'm interested.
It popped up in that book, and it was like the perfect time, because it was when the book obviously gets you thinking about how to get to that next level, how to shorten that time frame. Saw your name, looked into it. I don't know where else we saw it too.
I might have heard it in a podcast, but we then we just did the homework and said, yeah, we need to call these guys. We need to reach out to these guys. And then when we got involved with your company and you offered to send us the book was just like what you don't know, obviously, gets revealed, and it's a pathway. It's like an owner's manual, and every single chapter is one that the thing I liked about the book, I'm kind of jumping here, but is at the end of every rule, there's a series of questions. So you look at those questions and you can self-evaluate real quickly if you're on the right path, if you have something that's real. And we know we have something real, like Chuck Willery with the lure,
yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. I know I can sell it. And after that first chapter, if these guys can set up a guy to sell a lure on QVC, which is a women's only platform, because he believed in it and you believed in him, then that was just a great start to the book, and we really enjoyed it. It was so helpful.
And we're raw too. We don't know what we don't know, and we're just like, this gave us a good, like I said, a foundation to, okay, these are the things that we're going to have to do. These are the challenges. We started selling it online, and it took off, and we know where we want to go. And this is such a good starting point to help you figure out the holes you need to plug.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so before you read the book, or even before you reached out to us, I guess one of the first questions, just to set the table for the book as well, is, did you already know that you wanted to get to brick and mortar retail? Did you already have that goal set, or was that something that was revealed through, reading the book or doing more research?
Or reading Ben's book, either way.
Yeah.
I would say yes, that was the goal, but I didn't know how much, like it says in the book, like 80/20. You guys point out that it's 80/20. Mm-hmm. I would have thought it was the opposite. 80/20 being 80% of purchases in this space are done in a retail store, brick and mortar. I had no idea it was that much of an opportunity. So it was just like, hey, if we can get into, Targets, Walmarts, whatever, we're going to have our company's going to be bigger, right? And if I want to scale, that's probably what I need to do.
Yeah,
What we
super
need to do.
revealing. It was,
But it's like,
Most people are surprised by that. You guys are right. Most people are surprised to find out that as big as the digital world is, it only represents on average 20% of the marketplace. And by the way, it varies. So in the supplement world, it probably looks more like 60-40. In clothing, it's more like 92-8. Or in food, it's 90 plus versus 10.
Right.
But in your category, in your specific category, it's about in the 80-10 range. It's about where it's at. So when people are playing in the digital world, there's nothing wrong with having a big digital business, and we encourage it, and we do that. But no matter how big your company is on Amazon on your website, you're swimming in a 20% pond,
right.
not the 100% pond.
Right.
Yeah. It creates proof of concept, but
Yes.
dude,
100%.
yeah, that's what we realized we have. We have proved that this product is something that people want. We know we can make it better. And now we're like, this book is like, okay, these are all, it's just eye-opening. The whole thing, every chapter is more eye-opening.
Now, a little side note for you guys is something we didn't share with you probably. There's a new piece of research out that shows that daily digital shopping so people who bought online or shopped online every day a year ago was 27% of the population. That number this year has now dropped to 9%.
wow.
And the reason is, it's very shocking, isn't it?
I thought you were going the opposite way. I thought you say it's growing.
No, because COVID set digital on fire.
Yeah, that's had to be why.
Sure.
But now people are wanting to normalize again.
Yeah.
And they want to touch, see, feel, hold things before they buy them. And guess what else? They want to get out of the house and go be in public.
Yeah,
sure.
We're realizing we're online too much.
Yes, because as humans, we're all looking for these three locations, these three places. And those three places are home. The second place is work or school. And then the third place can be a number of places. It can be the gym. It could be a local bar. It could be a baseball, softball team. It's the mall. It's the Target. It's the Walmart. I want to get out in my third place and be a part of the world.
Yeah, it's social.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not social media, social connections.
Right. Real connection.
Right, because we're all on Zoom right now, which is amazing piece of technology. It's not the same as if we were all in a room together sharing the same air.
Right.
No.
It's just not the same.
Never gonna be. On that note, were there any other surprising or myths maybe that you had in your mind before you read the book that were broken after reading the content?
Okay.
I have one that I highlighted actually. The best way to predict the future is to create it. We've had conversations internally about how hard it is to change habits, which we all know that it's difficult, but positioning our product now the way that we're going to, and you guys know as good as anybody, better than anybody, where we're headed with that. It's something different that hasn't been done, and being able to position ourselves in a way that's unique, like we talk about authority and novelty. That is what's going to set a product apart and set it up for success. And to me, it was hard to wrap my head going into this. It was like, we have to make it something that people are familiar with, something that people will know how to do. My mind has changed on that. I still think it's an uphill battle. We know that, but it's something that is worth the climb.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite rules from mindset perspective, because you're right. When we think about how to truly scale, and that's why you're here, and that's why anybody who's going to read this book, they're not looking to, maybe get 10% growth. They're looking for 1,000% growth. And if you're trying to, and that's the future you're trying to go towards, again, you can look at the past, or you can take a look at everything that competitors are doing, or what has been done. And if that's all that you do, then all you're going to do is at best what they have done, but they're already doing it. And so they already have a market share based on that. So you're not going to be able to really pave your way and find your space and create that novelty and that new experience for the customer, which then why do I buy it, right? So you have to go and look at it and say, this is my future. This is our brand. This is our ability. Now let's go create that value for the customer, which in turn will also create the value for your business, right? This is a mutual contract between you and your customer, and it's on you, the brand and the business owner, to decide, okay, great, how can I bring something new and innovative and valuable to their lives? And that's just one way to look at that rule, right? You can apply that to her life.
Exactly. It seems like it would be harder, but in reality, if you get it right, it's going to make your whole business easier.
So easy.
Yeah, that brings the value. The thing for me was the retailer's perspective. And everybody, a lot of people in reading the book kind of had the same assumption that I did, that the more product, the more value at the lower price is really going to set you apart and make you the hero, when the reality of it is that from the retailer's perspective, profitability wise, that doesn't work. They get a percentage of whatever the SKU sells for, and you have to provide value for the customer for sure, but at the same time, make sure that there's a replenishment rate and a price that makes you the hero for the retailer.
Yeah. And has that, or how has that changed the way that you're looking at your current business and your current products?
Well, Ryan's always said, we get too much product. They can use this product. It's going to last for 2 years, and so I'm like, so we had already cut that down quite a bit in our concentrate. And the way that we've discussed now how we want to position it with a ready to use and a separate concentrate for a different purpose, it's we're going to go to the next change, which is going to happen when the labels come out on the new products. And so we think that it's going to make things just a lot better.
Not only that, though, we're not even on Amazon yet. And the reason why we were hesitant to do that, or at least I was, is because I had a false conception that basically they were going to make us cut our prices because that's how they wanted it to be. And there wouldn't be enough margin there. And I'm like, I want to control this because we know how much the product is worth. We know the problem that we're solving. We believe in high prices.
And we know the margin that we have to have at least 5%.
So we are already positioned in our minds, like we don't want a discount. We don't want it to be something that's a low price. But it's not really a but it's just that there is room that the retailer's going to be happy too with that price and with that mindset. And I don't think either of us knew that.
Right. And we can't have the wrong messaging. You can't have a price that's discounted, because that's the value they'll put on it.
Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things you guys learned was retailers would rather have a high price product than a low price product.
100%.
Sure.
We had.
Yeah, be the highest priced in your category, and we're kind of creating our own category, and that's a perfect fit, because we can compare what we provide to them for value based on what it would cost them to go out and pay for a professional service.
And that's part of the message here. You guys aren't competing with Bullshot.
Right.
You're not competing with Woolite. You're competing with Stanley Steamer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what would you say were your favorite rules?
Well, not to be a Me Too product. We've got high value, better technology, better everything. That's important. One successful item.
Selfishly, a lot of these that I really liked backed up the thought process that we already had, so we could be internally being like, see, look, we did something, we had the right idea.
Right.
So it was nice to read stuff like that. Like,
well, that's kind of
confirmation is just as valuable.
Yeah.
For sure.
And like, we're doing things right. We have a product that works. We're not one of those scammy products that people are going to be upset with. We're doing something that is right by our customers. But also, I think Rule 17 for me is a really good one, that they're built exponentially and not incrementally, because that goes to the whole idea. It's exciting, right? It's easier to build your business to kind of 10x it than it is to just say, we were just having this conversation. Like, if we wanted to double our business, what are we going to do? We're going to do more of our ads or try to do a bigger spend on Meta.
And we do more work.
It's going to be a grind. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, we're just going to work harder.
We're just going to work harder. That's all it's going to be.
Transitioning to have, work with a partner like you guys who's like, look, let's get into retail. Let's do TV commercials. Let's do all this.
Right.
It is very different than what we were ever thinking of, like, the path would be. But it's we have to think bigger like that in order to 10x the business. And it's just like, if that's where you want to go, you have to just go for it. And that's going to be the easiest way to get there.
And by the way, I think this is one of the beauties of Ben's book. I know we're talking about mine, but I want to talk about Ben's again. One of the things that Ben points out is, if I say to somebody, is your goal growing 10x in 10 years? And then I say to you, what needs to change today in order for you to do that? The odds are you're going to say, well, we're kind of in line to do that over the next 10 years. Then if I say, well, if I change that to 36 months, what has to change tomorrow? And all of a sudden you start getting panicky because it's like, oh my God, we'd have to change so many things to be able to make this happen in 36 months. So it's a call to action to take immediate, bold action. The other thing that building rapidly, building exponentially does is, as you said, if we're going to double the business, well, we're just going to work harder. When you're going to 10x the business in 36 months, you quickly realize that working harder is not the option.
Yeah.
I don't have 10 times more time in my life.
Right.
So all of a sudden, a lot of the noise that is around you, we could do some more ads on Facebook. We could do some more ads on Amazon. All of a sudden that noise gets all cut off because it's like, that's not a 10x strategy. That's not a 10x strategy. That's not a 10x strategy. And all of a sudden, and I'll be interested to get your guys' opinion on this, for most people, once they narrow down this exponential 10x growth model, they usually find out there's only one path to get there.
Yeah.
So has that been the same experience you guys have had through this?
100%.
We stopped doing. We were experimenting with podcast ads. We got some return out of it. It's not like it was a whole waste of time.
No, but it was worth doing.
We were like, you know what, this is not where we're going. So yeah, exactly that. We sold another business that we had actually because we were like, this is just almost noise at this point because we want to focus on this and getting to the next level.
A lot of the rules kind of blend, like Rule 26, be the best in class, right? If you ain't first, you're last. And all success starts with truth, right? So we know, you just know when you have something. You know when it works. If it didn't work, I wouldn't have all the 5-star reviews that I have in the cleaning business. So we kind of started with that truth. And from there, we knew it was a niche. So, right, the riches are in the niches. Mm-hmm. Joe Polish, somebody that my wife and I have been to 2 seminars of his, one in Arizona, one in Florida. And that goes back to, that goes back 25 years listening to Dan Kennedy. So all of the things.
Back when Joe had hair, by the way.
Yeah,
we got you back.
We learned a lot. And so all of these rules, they kind of blend in. And the ones that don't, like I said, going back to the questions, you can look and say, okay, we really need to
they build kind of
focus on. Yeah, they do. You need to focus on maybe some of these things right here, like making sure. One thing we get is we're not spending money when we hire professionals. We're saving money. You guys know the game plan. You wrote the book. That's the type of thing that one mistake, putting a product too soon in a store, in a regional store, and spending 5 times more on advertising because you don't get it just costs more in a regional market per 100 to get your product listened to or heard from, marketed, it's just that could ruin your ability to get into a real store.
Plus, if there's no
and I'm going to agree with you guys. You guys said you sold another business you had to focus on this. I just recently sold one of my companies, was that about 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago? And I literally closed and sold one of my companies. And it was a 9-digit sale in a 9-digit company. But I sold it because me working with Ben and reading Ben's book made me realize I'm not going to be able to 10X that company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That it wasn't a 10X business.
Yeah.
So I'm right with you. And I do the same things that you guys are doing.
Yeah. You had done that twice. I think in your hypnotizing book, you had mentioned that as well. So didn't you have a couple of businesses that you would, you just focus on? You're being more laser focused on what you need to focus on.
Yep.
That's what it is for us, because
And staying at what it is that I'm best at.
Right.
Yep. Well, and you mentioned something earlier, Keith, when you were talking about another aspect of the book that you enjoyed, which was the questions at the end of each chapter, and it kind of gave you that ability to do some self-evaluation, right? And so, just curious, when you were going through and reading some of those questions, it sounds like a lot of them were affirming for you,
Yes.
which is great.
Yeah.
Were there any of them that you came across that was more, I'll say, revealing in a sense, as opposed to less affirming, more of, oh, I don't know this, or ooh, this is something we got to focus on, really?
Yeah. One of them was understanding the roles of each of us in the business, right? And not getting too caught up in being in control of a lot of the things that you should give away, right? Like the marketing aspect of it and setting up for it, like what we're doing with you guys. And so Ryan has a lot of those responsibilities right now. We've been really good at being able to say, okay, we need help in this market. We need help with emails, right? So we have an email provider that's doing a great job with us. And everybody we're working with, we're really comfortable with. And getting some of those things off our plate has freed up a lot of our time. Because, at the end of the day, Ryan's responsible for all this growth, right? I create the product, but he's putting together all of the marketing, and so we have creators that we've now worked with, and we put one of our creators kind of in charge of doing all the content.
We were in the ads in the beginning. We didn't have a budget. We were shooting ads in this room. We were like,
and if you guys could have been there, you'd be like, no. That's a redo.
You have to say this word like this, and it was. You know what? I was right.
It was unbelievable. Tell you, if we would have just let it go and let it been unique, we probably would have been 2x.
Yeah, but that's part of the journey, right? You got to go through some of those growing pains to enjoy these moments a little bit.
Oh my God, we would just be dying laughing. I wanted to strangle.
We were first, so even just getting that off our plate, it's true.
Right.
No, that was a big, if you want to get to where we're going, the business needs to run without us. So
in spite of us,
we're making steps to make that easier as well, because that's not exactly the case today, but it's a lot better than we were 4 months ago.
Sure.
Well, ultimately, let me ask a question. Is one of your goals, if you don't mind me asking you this, is one of your goals, like most CPG brands, which is to invent and innovate and market and build a big brand and then be acquired by a bigger company?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the end goal for sure.
Yep.
Then you're on the right track, because no one can buy a company if only you can run it.
Right.
Exactly.
You have to build an organization that can function without you. And Joe Polish has a very good way of asking this. And Joe will ask clients, if you left your company for a month, what would it look like when you came back? Is it
Sure.
bigger, smaller? Did it get bigger without you? Did it stay the same without you? Did it go backward without you?
Right. So he's talking all about systems and having those systems be defined and put in place so somebody can step in and do it. And I think we have a little bit of work to do as far as putting those systems down. Ryan knows what they are. If he stepped away, we'd be in trouble. So that's something that needs to be done. But the reality is that aside from something happening with a case, it's a company set up right now where somebody could step in and
and it's a lot better. This is why part of the reason we're working with you guys, obviously, is because we know where we did a lot ourselves in the beginning, and then it's like you get to a point and you know that you can't do that anymore. I don't know. I didn't realize that TV was the route to retail, right? That's
Most people don't.
That I didn't know.
I was surprised.
And if you were to even tell me that, I would say, well, how the hell do I make a TV ad? So all those questions would be in my head. And this is, like I said, the book lays it out step by step. It makes a ton of sense. I don't want to have to. I thought I was imagining, walking into a local store that I wanted to get into, or dialing up regional managers for the retail company.
We've actually done it.
Hey, we did. That's how we tried to do it in the beginning before Shopify was around. And that's why we had a 10-year gap between that and where we are now. But this just makes so much sense.
So one of the things we have to think of as business people is when we're in a fast-growing, exponentially growing company, if it's the first time we've run an exponentially growing company, then we have to realize everything we're going to do today, we've never done before.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Everything we do tomorrow, we've never done before.
Yeah,
sure.
Because we didn't do it today, because tomorrow's going to be different. Did either of you guys ever get the book by Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan called Who Not How yet?
No,
I haven't read that one yet.
So it's also by Ben Hardy with Dan Sullivan. And Who Not How is very much what you were just talking about, which is for great entrepreneurs who are visionaries and creators and inventors and marketers, the key to success isn't about learning how to do everything. It is about knowing everything that needs to be done and then knowing now how to identify the best who's in the world that can go out and accomplish it.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, we believe that. And
So it's all about getting the right who's.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, what other questions do you have? I have one big question, but I'm going to let you have whatever else you have.
I bet you do. So one of the next question I had is, what were some of the biggest questions that you had in your mind prior to reading the book that the book answered for you?
So I'd have to have a question prior to it.
I think for me it was so I didn't know anything about this process, right? I didn't, like I just mentioned, I didn't even know that the path would be TV ads and why that makes sense. And like once you're spending, they know that you're profitable. So that means that they know that your sell-through rate is high. And then you're going to get calls to, be listed on the as seen on TV or whatever section it's going to be. Those are all things that make so much sense after the fact. And once I read it, but going into it, it was more like, I don't know. There's so much that I don't know. So it wasn't like, it didn't answer a specific question. It just answered like holistically the entire process. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. So for somebody, to summarize, for somebody who had desire to get to retail, but yet there weren't any resources that you could find that even explained what it looked like, the book provided you with the landscape and the blueprint, as you mentioned before, on exactly how retail works and how to get in.
And a gut check on like, where are you at currently? And is this even where you should go now? Like, are you ready for this? Luckily, we are. This is exactly where we are right now, which is great. But if we weren't, it would be self-reflecting to be like, okay, maybe this is a little bit of time away. We need to prove this out first. Our product is not as well liked as we need it to be. Whatever it is, that's going to be solved in there too. So for sure.
Yeah, I didn't have any questions because the reality is I was kind of surprised that you said, hey, I've just written a book and we want to reveal it to you. And I wouldn't even know where to start to get this information. So you're in a niche, obviously. And when you read the book, you're like, oh, boy, I guess we weren't even at that point yet where we were putting anything. We weren't that far ahead of ourselves to know what we didn't know and where we wanted to be. So reading the book kind of.
Yeah, we weren't making any assumptions. We were just like, we don't know.
Yeah.
The entire reason why we put the book together, the whole reason we did the 27 Unbreakable Rules was simply this. We have conversations with folks just like yourself 5 to 10 times a week. And we have oftentimes had the same conversation over and over and over.
Sure.
And Justin and I set out one day, somebody must have wrote a book about this. Let's go see if we can find the book, and we'll buy 100 copies and we'll send people a book on the basic things they need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we dug around every nook and cranny we could find on the internet. And we came to the conclusion, no one wrote this book. So this is literally the mother of necessity book of no one's done this and we need to help people. And here, as it says in the book, there are 30,000 new SKUs of consumer products put onto the market every year here in the U.S.
And 0.005 make it. That's down to
Correct.
225. So if something
Yes.
stood out in the book, I started to jump in there, but
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy, right?
Yes.
And most of them are from brands that are already established.
This is
Mathematically, your odds are better on taking your money and putting it on number 17 on a roulette table.
Right.
Because at
Yeah,
least that's 37 to 1.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling, right?
So in general, that's your odds.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
And we wanted to improve the odds for people. And the way we improve the odds is, one, getting some of those 30,000 people to decide their product's not ready for prime time.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Save your money, keep your day job, don't go all in, you're not ready. And our goal is to always try to kindly take those people off the ledge.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, so I'm giving you a little inside baseball for us. One of the reasons why our track record is always 95 to 100% per year is because of all the stuff we don't take. It's all the clients we don't take that makes our numbers look so good. Big part of it. But the sad part of it, guys, is we know in many cases when we don't take somebody's money, they find someone else who does take their money.
Sure.
And then they lose all their money. And then oftentimes we get another call a year or 2 years later asking if we can fix it. And now they still have all the same problems, but no money.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, you have a chapter in there about being honest with yourself. And again, it goes back to answering the questions. And I'm like, well, maybe Mike sent us this book because he wants us to exclude ourselves, but I don't think he's wasting his time with us for that reason. So,
It wasn't the message for you guys, but it is the message for overall people who get the book that you need to answer some honest questions to find out do you really have a product that solves human problems? Do you really have a product that has unique points of difference and unique attributes? Do you really have a product that has a broad appeal, not just a little itty bitty niche of people that isn't big enough to make a business out of? You have to be honest with yourself and answer those questions. And this is the reason I always tell people that if you are building a CPG company and if you follow all 27 rules, I promise you'll have a successful CPG business. The reason I make that promise is because if you're honest with yourself in the first 5 questions, you're not in business. If the product's not good. You've already decided this isn't going to work, or I've got a little niche Amazon business here and this is cool.
Sure. Yep.
But you've decided this isn't what I am. Therefore, you never spent your money and went down the path of the rest, which in many cases, not losing your money is as successful as sometimes making money. I mean, we don't want people to lose their money. We have people, guys, I'm going to tell you, we have people come to us who, like myself, like I did decades ago, mortgage their house and take the money out of their 401k and literally put it all on 17 black and spin the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want people to do that unless they're, one, the odds are tilted in their favor, and two, they're willing to take the consequences. I will tell you something that's not in the book that happened. When I went to my wife and said, I want to take a mortgage on the house and take all the money out of 401k, she asked me if I believed in it and do you think it's going to work? And I said yes, and she went along with it. But there's one other thing she said that I didn't put in the book. And the thing she said is, if it all fails, can you live with the outcome?
Great question.
And my answer to her was, well, I'm going to have to pay the house off again. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to, yeah, I can still do it. It's going to take me years if I have to rebuild it, but yes, I can still live with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things people need to know. Can you live with the failure? That being said, Justin will tell you that in my world, failure is not an option.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't believe in it. So to me, it doesn't exist.
Hey, set the future.
Well, exactly. Creating the future. That's what we have to do. So, Mark, you said you have a question for the boys.
I do. Now that you guys are on the journey, and I have two questions for you. The first question is, if 3 years from now, we were back on this podcast in these very same rooms on this very same day, 36 months from now, what had to have happened? Looking back over the now past 36 months, what had to happen to make everything in your business a success and exactly what you'd hoped for?
I mean, I feel like we're walking that path right now. I mean, it's just.
So tell us what it looks like 3 years from now.
Yeah, I think that we have created a product that has more repeat purchases, which is what we're doing. We're going to launch a new version of what we came up with, and we've got our costs down because that's another big thing that we're working on right now. We launch TV and it goes really well, and we put some money in our pocket from that. We're profitable, not just breaking even. And from there, we are approached by retailers to launch in stores, and we find out what the best fits are, and we meet those demands, and people are just purchasing. And like you said earlier, it's taken, I think, the nation by storm with people that are finding a new and easy and safe way to clean the fabric that they have in their homes, and they love it. And that's the biggest thing that we tried to do from the beginning, is make a product that they really love, that works. And then, we're starting to field offers to sell it. I think that's what the path looks like.
So 36 months from now, what's gross sales? What's the top line look like?
In a year, I mean, I think it could be 50 million, maybe 25 at least. I think that's very reasonable.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a calculator that could figure that out, because based on what we're at right now and adding the 80% and having the additional improvement in our marketing message and then getting into more than one store once the other stores see what the sales Nielsen ratings are.
Repeat business can be huge too.
I mean, when I wake up in the morning, what I say to myself is that we've created the world's easiest soft surface cleaning solution that is safe, effective, residue free, no. And when people realize what this does, how this system creates a true clean for their fabrics, and fabrics are everywhere. We went through the homes that have it. If we grab a conservative percentage of what that market is, it's just going to explode. This is easy for people. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs it that cares about their fabrics. Pet owners, your sister. Uh, there's such a market. It's just going to improve everybody's life.
People already like it too. If 80% of the people are in retail and we can cast a wider net, I told this is kind of funny. When we first sold one online, I freaked out and I was like that.
You don't know what this means.
I don't think you understand what this means.
He kept hitting me over the head. You don't know what this means.
This means that somebody saw our ads, they were solving a problem for them. Now they're going to get the product and they're going to like it. I'm like, this means, like, I could see the end at that point, like us exiting for a huge amount, getting, our top line being big. It's just, and that's the same thing I feel with, this book and working with you guys, is that, like, we just need to do it. We're walking that path.
We have the right who's, and that will take the messaging to where it needs to be, and we're just going to follow the path, and it's going to take us to a place in 3 years that, maybe 10 years ago we never thought was there without it.
So my prediction for you is, if we follow down the path we're going, and you guys are smart and you guys are teachable and you're wonderful to work with, my prediction in 36 months is you're north of 35 million and potentially as high as 50. Let me ask you my last question, and that is, knowing what you know now, talking to other entrepreneurs who maybe aren't as far along as you right now, what would you do different? What do you wish you'd done sooner? What advice do you have to give them?
I would say, if you believe in your product and you can test your product, improve your product, more than just believing in it, then you need to get started right away down this path. If it's a similar product, just follow the same trail we're on, because you don't have any idea how powerful it's going to be.
And I think it goes to what we talked about a little bit earlier, Mark, is like, it can happen fast. Is you can shrink that timeline down. That might be the biggest thing that I'd want people to hear, is that you prove the product out, and then it's hard to almost believe how fast it can happen too. But if you get the right people and you have the right playbook, I guess, which is essentially what this book is, you can make things happen faster than you would have ever thought. Believe it. That's all.
Yeah.
Keith, Ryan, thanks for being here with us. I really appreciate you guys doing this.
This is amazing.
And again, folks, I'm going to tell you, these guys have their clean, safe product. It's the real deal. My absolute OCD, clean of queen fanatic sister was determined to prove the product didn't work right. And to her own surprise, she said the product was everything I said it would be. And she was able to remove stains on her carpet that a professional couldn't remove, that a carpet machine couldn't remove, and that store-bought cleaners couldn't remove. And this did it. Now, she did tell me that she did it twice. I don't know if that matters. I'm guessing she did it wrong the first time, is to be honest with you, and didn't read the instructions, and then had to go read the instructions.
That's okay.
But she said it did. She said it did everything that it claimed it was going to do. And that's back to the key, folks. Make a product that has wide appeal, that people need, that works. So remember, people aren't buying upholstery cleaning. They're buying clean upholstery. That's
right.
The difference. People don't buy hemorrhoid medication. They buy pain relief. They buy getting back to normal. Is what they buy. And in the case of this product, that's essentially what people are buying. I want to get back to new.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get back to normal.
Well, thank you for having us. We feel honored that you asked us to be on this podcast with you. We're really enjoying the journey and working with you guys. It's really been a pleasure. We're learning so much, and we're super excited about what the future has to bring.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
for the
gentlemen.
book too, obviously, I know that's what we were talking about, but the book was really awesome. So it was a pleasure to be able to read for everybody else.
For sure.
I am grateful and humbled that you found the book to be valuable, honestly. Folks, if you enjoyed today's podcast, make sure you go wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us 5-star review. If you're not following the podcast, hit the little subscribe button. If you want to get the book, you can go to Amazon, right, Justin?
Go to Amazon. Yep. So when we release this show, so it's going to be on sale. We're doing a sale for the launch. So you'll be able to get the audiobook for 99 cents. If you like Kindle, you'll also get it for 99 cents. Special launch offer we're doing just to get this out there. Get it out to the world. Get people.
So what do they do?
Just go to Amazon, type in 27 Unbreakable Rules. It'll be the first listing. It'll pop right up there for you.
Or you can also go to Meet Mark Young, and there's a page on the book there too.
Yep. There's also a page on our website for the book that'll give you the same offer.
And that's at JekyllHydeLabs.com.
Yep. jnhlabs.com.
All right.
It's like bringing notes into a test, everybody.
Keith, Ryan, thanks. Folks, we'll see you on the next episode of CPG Insiders.
See you guys soon. Thank you.
Guys.
If you're looking to greatly increase sales on your CPG product, don't hesitate to contact us at Jekyll and Hyde Advertising and Marketing. By the way, the only advertising agency with a guaranteed result. Just go to JekyllHydeAgency.com or feel free to give us a call at 800-500-4210.